A person doesn't have the right to self-defense in his own home? Suspicion of murder? This goes to the whole issue. The perpetrator becomes the victim becomes the perpetrator. Reversing the truth.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
John Rappaport here, sitting in for Alex in the fourth hour at InfoWars. Going to be talking a lot about the Bill of Rights. What is that? Certain parts of it. But let's start with a story not out of America, out of England. Richard Osborne Brooks, 78-year-old man, living in a house. On April 4th, shortly after midnight, two thieves entered the house. Brooks' wife sleeping upstairs. There's a fight. Brooks, 78 years old, gets into a fight with one of the thieves. The other one runs away. During the fight, the one thief is stabbed. He's in critical condition. Scotland Yard tells the press in the aftermath of this that they arrested Brooks, the 78-year-old homeowner, on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm. The thief dies. Now, says Scotland Yard, they are arresting the homeowner, Richard Osborne Brooks, on suspicion of committing murder. What? Who? How? What are they talking about? A person doesn't have the right to self-defense in his own home? Suspicion of murder? This goes to the whole issue. The perpetrator becomes the victim becomes the perpetrator. Reversing the truth. Turning it inside out and selling it. Selling it hard. Selling it for decades. Selling it to a half asleep, maybe totally asleep public, under the guise of turning around the obvious, I mean, forget even traditional, okay? The obvious values and principles upon which any sane society is based. Selling the idea that property is theft, right? Owning property somehow means a prior crime must have been committed. Otherwise, how could you possibly own property? And somebody who invades that property, that home, well, they must have been oppressed in the past. That goes without saying. Their motives, the motives of thieves, are clear. But you see, the motive of a 78-year-old man, Richard Osborne Brooks in London, has to be analyzed and pored over by the cops and by prosecutors and so forth to detect if there's any slightest hint of unreasonable aggression on his part before deciding whether to release him or prosecute him for murder. Murder. This is where we're come to. This is where we are. This is the secret society formula, really, of turning everything upside down and inside out. Motive? Destroying society, destroying you, destroying me, destroying everybody, destroying whatever there can be that's good, honest, right, correct, obvious, straightforward, meaningful, about life. That's where they're going. That's where they've been going. That's the whole idea behind this. Otherwise, in this particular case, why would they say we're arresting this homeowner on suspicion of murder? Now, neighbors in that area are in an uproar. They're saying, give this guy a medal. He defended his house. There have been other robberies in this area. This is great, and he's 70-year-old, terrific, and it's also sending a message. But no. That opinion can't be allowed to stand as the headline of the story. No, the headline of the story has to be destruction of what is good and true and right. That's the mindset of evil. How else is there to put it? How else can you describe it? That's what evil wants. That's what evil people want. They want to invert and reverse and destroy all values. I see, for those of you that are watching, there's a few pictures on the screen of cops in the area and so forth. I saw photos earlier. It looked like somebody had released a biological weapon. There were all kinds of, as they call them, forensic investigators around this house in London, wearing blue, puffy, almost look like hazmat suits, right? What are they looking for? It looked like there were, a dozen of these guys, in addition to Scotland. There's a few of them. What is that? What is that uniform? These are forensic investigators? They look like creatures from another planet. And then in addition, of course, you had uniformed police officers on the scene. It really looked like, okay, well, somebody decided to set off a dirty bomb, or somebody had a biological warfare agent in the house, and so forth and so on. Meanwhile, crime is rising like crazy in London with stabbings and so forth. You've had stories recently about that. But they've got to focus on this guy, Richard Osborne Brooks, 78 years old. Why? Because the issue of private property is at stake. If he becomes celebrated, if there is a huge groundswell of public opinion on his side, much larger even than now, if people rise up and say, we're sick and tired of this and that's it, then you get a revolution overnight. People wake up. They say, what is going on here? What's happening when it's so simple? A family owns a house. People break into the house. We don't know what they're going to do. We know they're going to steal something. Owner defends the house, arrested on suspicion of murder. We'll be back after the break. Don't go anywhere.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
The right-wing smear machine has gotten Alex Jonesified this election cycle.
There's a guy named Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
From InfoWars.
From InfoWars.
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
One of those guys who believes Bigfoot was responsible for 9/11.
I heard that on Alex Jones, so it's true.
Claims that 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombings were inside jobs.
The conspiracy du jour, Hillary Clinton is harboring a secret medical condition.
You just had to keep digging, didn't you, Alex?
I heard it on Alex Jones, so I know it's true.
Google is being accused of hiding negative stories about Hillary and her campaign by changing its algorithm to bury stories like the Clinton body count story. That's according to website InfoWars.
And this really just is so disgusting.
The juice of these pickles is on you, Alex Jones.
It goes right from Alex Jones, and it shows up in Donald Trump's mouth.
Hillary Clinton created ISIS with Obama.
The very fringe of the conspiracy movement, like Alex Jones, are being kind of
incorporated into the campaign.
If Trump gets elected, he's going to be Secretary of Defense.
I think that Alex Jones is a lunatic.
Move, bitch! Get out the way!
Bill Clinton is a rapist. Infowars.com.
Bill Clinton is a rapist.
Bill Clinton is a rapist. Infowars.com. Infowars.com. Bill Clinton's a rapist. The New World Order sends its regards.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance. It's Alex Jones.
The globalists are losing, but they're doubling down their attacks. There's one thing they fear, and it's people power. InfoWars has defeated their censorship so far only because of you spreading the links, spreading the articles, subscribing, clicking the notification buttons, and getting the articles and videos out. But they are intensifying their censorship, so now it's more important than ever to ensure we keep the First Amendment alive and well right here in America and free speech worldwide. So from Australia to countries in Africa, to Europe, to Mexico, to right here in the USA, I salute you all for taking action and defending free speech. We will prevail. InfoWars Life Brain Force Plus is our #1 selling product by leaps and bounds, and for a good reason. Going back about 5 years ago, we did research on what top-selling nootropics were, what were most popular, what were best, what people liked, and we made it even stronger. Then we cut the price because leading competitors have 5 to 7 times markup. We only have 150%, and then it helps fund our operation. Well, now it's 50% off. That means we've got a 25% markup, and we've got it paired with the Real Red Pill that takes about 7 days to kick in. Brain Force takes about 30 minutes. But the two go together. It's the Mind and Body Challenge. They're both 50% off individually, or together they're 50% off and free shipping with the combo at InfoWarsLife.com. But it's got to end in a couple days because both of these bestsellers are about to sell out. InfoWarsLife.com to get your Brain Force Plus and Real Red Pill today.